People say power corrupts, and I say power unmasks the man.
The mood in Germany towards politics, parties, politicians changed within the last decades. So after the Second World War, we all were happy to have democracy and had a lot of expectations towards democracy. Right now, if you look, for example, at the figures, then in every election, less and less people vote. And they mistrust the politicians more and more.
I think most people view their, don't really believe in the system, because they think that the system actually misuses their tax money.
And I think this is also because people do not really feel represented. They have the feeling we have a political class up there, that's the perception of the people, and we, the ordinary people, they don't care about us. That's the feeling they have.
The politicians who are in power tend to have their own agendas.
Democracy has always to be developed and also to be fought for by the people. And the proportional system, the representative democracy has been a great achievement, let's say 100 years ago, but now it's not sufficient.
When I think about corrupt politicians, I have to think about human nature. And if you have access to power, and you can continue to have access to power, why would you give it up?
So if I would have to compare the proportional and the majority system, I would always prefer the proportional one, because when you have, let's say, 5% of the people who think mostly in ecological terms and want to have ecology moved forward, in a proportional system you will have 5% of your members of parliament elected by those people. In a majority system, the winner takes it all, and they all have to stay outside the parliament.
And so I came to the conclusion that very much that a politician, a political leader, is very much like a hustler. If you go to a bar and there's a bunch of people vying, for trying to establish a relationship, quite often you might meet somebody and you might not be truthful about who you are in order to better your chances to possibly have a relationship with a person. So in a sense, I see a politician in this way, where let's say a politician is a male and the electorate is a female, and the politician is basically going to tell the electorate exactly what the electorate wants to hear in order to get elected.
Once you have established direct democracy, you can see by the results what people really want. And for example, in Bavaria, so in the state of Germany where I live, we introduced direct democracy in 1995 on the local level. And up to now, there have been more than 1,500 petitions for a referendum and about 1,000 referendums in Bavaria. So let's say every week I open the newspaper, I can read about a decision taken by the people directly. And this not only leads to better decisions, this also leads to a better life in community, because people do not feel anymore just being the object of the decision of politicians. They feel being sovereign, caring about their community, taking the decisions themselves. That brings a community forward and that allows, let's say, a life together that has not been there before. So once you do direct democracy, people use it and people are very happy to have this possibility.
When you concentrate too much power in the hands of the few, then they can also then take that power and direct it or project it in ways that they feel are useful. And the ways that they project power isn't necessarily for the good of the people. Perhaps they are projecting power that's advantageous for them or enables them to hold on to power, at all costs, and therefore are willing to sacrifice the needs of the many for the needs of the few.
Before we established direct democracy in many of our states in Germany, we have had lots of discussions. Will people be able to decide themselves? Do they know enough? And all these questions. And since we have it, we see that's the wrong question. You know, it's like playing piano. If the piano is closed and you can't use the I don't know the word for it, but the keys, then you will never learn to play a piano. But once you open it and you play a tune, you listen, how it sounds, and you learn how to play. So direct democracy is like let's say, like a big university for people themselves to learn to take their decisions themselves.
So if you are unhappy with the outcome of politics, then you need to get fire in your belly. You need to find others who believe the same way. You need to organize yourself and take your power back, because all that power comes from you anyway. You're the sovereign.